Hi everybody, it's Caitlin again. Today we are going to make our own homemade deodorant. Now, why not just buy it at the store? Well, one of these, it's almost $5. This is the Degree brand. One of these was almost $5. It would last my husband 2 to 3 weeks, and he still stunk when he came home working construction for 8 to 10 hours a day. So, I wanted to make up some homemade deodorant, and he's been skeptical. He never wants to try anything cool. But since I started working for essential oils company, Simply Aroma, I'll have the links down below for the oils we're going to use today. He thought, I'm making all this stuff homemade, and he actually really liked the toothpaste and the shampoo that I made, so he's like, okay, make me some deodorant. So I'm making him deodorant today, and so yeah, I wanted to show you guys how to make it yourself as well. So what we're going to need is any kind of container. I'm just using his old container. You're going to want to wash them out. You can wash them out or you can leave it in there. I already washed it out, and I actually poured some in, and I didn't like the video, so I'm remaking it. So there is still some in the bottom from the first video I made, but I washed it out and cleaned it out before that. So you need a bottle, a glass mixing jar. We're going to use beeswax. You don't have to use beeswax, but if you live in Florida or the hot states, you're going to want beeswax because you can keep these in your car or your purse or whatever, and they will melt. So the beeswax makes it so they don't melt. I live in Washington, but I'm still going to do it because even in the cars get hot. So beeswax is optional, but it's good to have. You know, some cornstarch. You can use coconut oil, but and I really like the coconut oil, but I found you can also use shea butter. So today I'm going to use shea butter to kind of conserve my coconut oil, and I have a ton of shea butter. And some baking soda. And then you're going to need some essential oils. Now, I have peppermint, wild orange, and lemon that came in my starter kit, as well as eucalyptus and lavender and cylinderize, which is a weight loss thing. But I'm going to use, I'm thinking, the wild orange today and see how it turns out. I don't want peppermint because it might burn his underarms, so I'm trying to think of one that would be more of a manly, neutral, then I can use it too. So we're going to go with the wild orange today. So, and you're going to need, well, you can use a microwave, but I have a pot on the stove heating with water so that I can bring it in here and show you guys. So, I'm going to go get that here in a minute, but for now, we're going to mix up some stuff. So, my recipe is right here on the computer. I had to do some conversions from my old recipe. So, we're going to need 5 tablespoons of beeswax to 3 tablespoons of coconut oil or shea butter. So, I'm using a half measuring cup, or a half tablespoon, so I'm going to be doubling this for that reason because it's a half. So, I'm going to need 5 tablespoons total of beeswax. I'm going to use kind of these. And I do recommend putting the beeswax even if you're not in a hot place. Because if you leave it on the counter, it's going to melt, like when you take a shower or whatever. When it gets warmer, it's going to melt, since coconut oil has a low melting point. So you can even just do half of the beeswax, or you could buy the block and then just shred it, but whatever you want to do. So I highly recommend having the beeswax in there, and it gives it a nice smell too. Okay, so there's the beeswax, and then we need, man, I am blind, 3 tablespoons coconut oil, but I'm going to use shea butter. So I'm going to add 6 of these because it's a half. I just recently found shea butter, and I found I really like it. I've always just used coconut oil, which, I mean, is fine too, but I got a bunch of shea butter free for reviewing, doing an Amazon review. And so I thought I would try it out, and that was the first time I'd heard of it or anything. So I really like it. It's a softer consistency, but it's not like super oily like coconut oil is. And it has a little bit higher melting point, I think, because my fingers aren't melting it as fast as coconut oil. Okay. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go grab the pot of water that's boiling on the stove and bring it in here so you guys can see how I melt it. But again, you can also melt it in the microwave. Start with 30 seconds at a time. Don't do more than 30 seconds because you can burn it. So do 30 seconds, stir it up, 30 seconds, stir it up, until it's all melted. It should melt pretty quick. So let me go grab that and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So what I did is I just went ahead and melted on the stove. I just poured it into a pot and I just melted it. It took like 60 seconds after on high heat. So here's what we got. It's all melted. So it has no smell. It has a slight beeswax smell. I guess I should really smell it before I say anything, but it actually smells pretty good. So now what we got to do is add the baking soda and cornstarch. So we're going to need 2 tablespoons of baking soda and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I hate the little openings on the baking soda, so I just poured mine in a bucket here. So 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to need 4 of these, since again this is a half tablespoon. Go. And it's going to start to probably thicken up. So what I'm going to do is, after I add it, is I'm just going to go melt it again back on the stove real quick, just so it'll pour nice and easy. So there's the baking soda, and then we need cornstarch. So we need 3 tablespoons. Yes. And we need 6 of these. Now a lot of people like to add tea tree oil because it's got lots of health benefits and all that, but I can't breathe. Tea tree oil to me is the worst smell in the world. I can handle dead fish. I live on the river. I can handle skunks. I live by the woods. I can handle all that, but I cannot handle tea tree oil. Just can't do it. My body just kind of shuts down. It won't let me breathe. So, you can also add vitamin D. With the tea tree oil is, if you haven't played around with it, it's super, super strong. So literally start with 1 drop and see, and go from there, because you're not going to need much to get a smell for it. So, and then the nice thing is even if with just 1 drop, you can still overpower it with essential oils, so that you can still have a scent to it. But there's a lot of good things about tea tree oil. You can look up and see all the good benefits of that. You can also add vitamin D to it. I don't have any at the moment, or I would add some in. So that's always a good benefit to have as well. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to heat this back up on the stove real quick, and I will be back to add oils and pour it in the container. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. That took about 30 seconds. Just poured it in on high, and it melted super fast, and it smells. The beeswax is really coming through now. It's got a really nice beeswax, so you could add the coconut oil instead, and it would make it really coconutty. You might not need too much scent then, but I gotta kind of work fast so it'll stay melted. So I'm gonna start out with 10 drops of my wild orange, because it's more of a mildy flavor, scent, and see how it smells. Ooh, that smells really good with the beeswax. It's kind of like an orange honey scent. There we go. Okay, very orangey now. So that was probably about 15 or so drops. Okay, now time to pour. Now, when it's a liquid like this, it might go down underneath that cap for rolling it up, you know. So you could always let it soften up a little bit and then work it in there so that it doesn't seep through down below. But really, I don't really care, because I could just throw this in the microwave, melt it, pour it out, and go again. So it's not too big of a deal for me. So that's all personal preference, I guess. So we're just gonna pour it in. All the way to the top here. There we go. And I do have some extra there, so I'm just going to put it might just leave it in there, keep it in the fridge, and then remelt it down when I make some more, and it'll be good. So it's bubbling a little bit and going down there. So I might have to add some more in the top of it. It looks like it might have gone down the bottom a little bit, but anyways. So then, when it's all said and done, you can leave it on the counter here, or you can throw it into the refrigerator. It'll be done in about an hour, ready to use. You can even stick it in the freezer if you really need it that fast. But once it's all hard, as long as there's beeswax in it, it shouldn't melt on you on the hot days you're in the car. As long as there's beeswax. Even if you only added half the amount of beeswax, which would have been, what, 2.5 tablespoons? So, yeah. So, it shouldn't be an issue with you. Anyways, that's all there is to it. Don't put the lid on until it's hard. So just put it in the fridge with it open, and then when it's all done, put the lid on, and it works like regular deodorant. So, if you try this out, please let me know how you like it. If you have any recommendations on modifying or anything, I'm always up to the challenge of changing things. I'm always open for that. This is just what I use, and I wanted to share it. Feel free to like, subscribe, share with friends, invite friends over. I always like friends, so feel free to conversate with me. I tend to ramble. And I'll leave information below on as far as getting the oils. Remember, if you sign up right now, you can get 6 oils plus fractionated coconut oil, and all the starter kit, complete starter kit, and become a consultant for $20. You'll make 25% commission, sell to your family and friends, show them your DIY videos, and show them how much fun it is to work for an essential oils company. Or they'll just be your customer. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.